What is going on? This is Bunch tight end out of the Indy playbook. Now, this was a scheme that I was coming up with when I was thinking about getting into Mutt not too long ago. And Bunch tight end in itself is a fantastic formation, and the reasoning behind it is we can really abuse the sidelines while still having decent crossing routes. Crossing routes that are motioned will kill any sort of man coverage. So in this case, I'm just going to show you the dime two-man under. A lot of people love dime two-man under, obviously. So if you see something like this dime two-man under, the play I come out in is inside switch. Now, I do two things with this. Sometimes I will simply drag Y, and then I will motion fade B, and then as soon as he gets set, I hike the ball. Now, this gives you pretty much every route on the field is going to beat man. Now, I didn't get a good animation right there with the motion fade, but if I hike it as he sets, that dude will tend to burn him. As well as you also have the running back going to the flats, the tight end on a good corner route, obviously the drag route, and then ultimately this post, which is really deadly as well. So there's that. In addition to being able to motion out that fade, I'll try it one more time. Just motion him out. I messed up the timing. As I said, you got the corner route that gets open, the running, like every route beats man coverage right there. You also have the ability to motion the outside guy, and you can motion him to the outside. We'll just let him cut up the field. You'll see how badly he burns his guy. And it doesn't matter if he's pressed or not since we're utilizing motion. So in this case, I would fade Y, drag B, then I just motion hike X, and you'll see right here, X is just going to absolutely leave that guy, leave the corner that's on him. I mean, you can see the retarded separation right there. So just pretty much hike before he sets, he'll cut up field, and then as soon as he makes that cut, he's just going to be wide open. So obviously your opponent can't guard that route along with running back to the flat, a drag, and a corner route that all gets open on the right. So if your opponent is in some sort of a zone defense, say they're in a cover 3 or a cover 4, you can also motion Edelman to the right, and as soon as he sets, hike it and chuck it like we would the halfback wheel or a corner strike where we're just motioning the corner out. So you pretty much you pick and choose what you want to do with B and Y. Your main routes that are always going to be open are going to be X, A, and the running back. So once again, I mean, the tight end route is literally open at will due to the running back going to the flats. You can motion B all the way across the formation on a fade if you want, just to play around with them. You can bomb them there. There you see that route getting open if they don't press. And once again, you can say they're doing something crazy. You know, they're biting down. They're trying to do, you know, the nation's dime defense, or they're doing something dumb like this. You just motion this dude out as soon as he sets, which I jacked it up again. But, I mean, you see that the post route still gets wide open. Try it one more time. Now you'll see something similar to this. Pretty much, he'll set, we'll hike it, and then you got, in theory, that guy going deep. So that is the play inside switch. The one thing that I like to do sometimes is I'll drag the tight end, and I'll fade Y, and I'll motion this guy over. You see that even in man coverage, he's going to be wide open unless they put a zone out there to defend him. So to counter that, though, a lot of people start just focusing on your motion, knowing that's your primary person. You can mix it up, though, because now with the play tight end corner, you could motion B, you can motion him to the outside, right? And you've kind of got a similar play. Do the same thing. Hiked it too soon right there. Go to it again. So on this, I'd simply drag. Either I will drag X or I'll put him on a flat. And you can see corner route's going to be wide open. It works against man, works against zone as long as the guy is not pressing him. And in addition to that, you could also do this, which is you're motioning this guy back to the left. As soon as he sets, you're going to hike it. You'll see that he gets the same dumb separation that Edelman got on the X receiver. So pretty much I'm just utilizing motioning posts and corner routes to play tight end corner. The one thing you don't really want to do is use the play mesh. So mesh, you'll notice if you try to use him as a corner to the sideline, you'll see that it's a different angle. Like, he doesn't cut hard to the outside. He goes upfield. So one thing that I like to do with that, if I'm still seeing a lot of heavy man coverage, I will fade or streak B, and I'll motion Edelman back across on mesh. And before he sets, I just hike the ball, and now you've got the same crazy little post going from right to left. So pretty much, I mean, you're utilizing these motions to get people wide open in man coverage. I'm gonna go ahead. We'll do it again. This is versus press. I mean, just pretty much as soon as you hike, I mean, you can see he gets clear separation against the corner. So that is the 3 plays that I use. I use mesh, tight end corner, and inside switch. Now the play PA all cross, I tend to block the running back, and then I decide what I want to do with the tight end. You'll see on this play that the B receiver is going to torch his guy in man coverage. You'll also see if they are in any sort of a zone. So we'll go cover 3 here. If they're in any sort of a zone, the Y receiver just tends to get wide open for no real apparent reason. Messed it up right there, I believe, but let's try it again. All right, PL cross. I mean, you could drag, you could streak, you can curl this guy as well. I mean, you can really pick and choose what you want to do with it. So once again, this is man coverage. You see all the crossing routes get wide open. So again, gonna go to cover 3. We're gonna block the tight end right here. Now you'll see right here that, I mean, that route just gets open for no real apparent reason. If they are in a cover 4, you can bomb that route for touchdowns. That is something that I learned while playing on MWS. Recently, it's something a lot of people have switched over to with this play, is they just are bombing cover 4 with this play by simply, they're just max protecting and then blocking the running back. And you'll see that for whatever reason, if you have time, the Y receiver just tends to get wide open. Go ahead, I'll baseline press again. So they're just chucking it down and it's just open. If they want to guarantee that it gets open, they'll block the running back, they'll curl the tight end. And then it does similar thing. You see he's just cutting over. Go ahead to instant replay real quick. So you see, as he's cutting across, for whatever reason, the safeties just, they continue to drop back, leaving this wide open zone. So anybody remotely fast in that spot will get wide open. The only additional play that I used out of this formation was if I'm hell-bent on bombing cover 4, the traditional way, I will use the play inside cross. Like if my opponent's just non-stop in cover 4, if I need a huge play, you just run inside cross, streak Y, curl the tight end, and you'll see that the post route's going to get wide open right here. So pretty much that is a one-play touchdown versus cover 4. Occasionally you can bomb it to Y in a cover 3, although I feel it's a little bit less consistent. You don't have to curl A. It just makes it work a little bit better. So I mean, you'll see right here, it's going to be a consistent cover 4 bomb if they're not guarding it. So that is the bunch tight end. What I like about the bunch week is I just audible to verticals. So verticals is hell already if you run it stock. I like to put the running back on an in route and then drag the tight end, and then you can either motion this guy to the outside if you want to, or just run it as is. So I mean, you see, just dump it off. You know, you're dinking and dunking out of that play for the most part, unless they go to man coverage. Probably one of my favorite plays. Outside of that, the slip screen is actually not all that bad. What I'll do in this is if I sense like a man coverage look, and if I see that they're playing like on their safety, say they're trying to jump down, or they're adjusting to different routes, what I'll do is I'll simply motion this dude to the outside and try to hike it as he sets. That gives you the option to get that little turbo bomb. Doesn't work all the time. I use it periodically, but it does work from time to time. Back to bunch tight end real quick though. The halfback off tackle. This is actually a pretty good run because you have the ability to cut it directly up the field or to the right really quick. So once you have your opponent kind of on the fly adjusting to all the motions, I mean you could do something like this and you see that the cutback lanes are just retarded. They're wide open. If your opponent is not really good at defending the cutback, this is something that can really do well. The downside to it is it's not that great of an outside run unless you have receivers that can actually block. So a lot of the times what I'll do is I'll motion people to the outside and then I just cut it back up the middle, similar to like a cutback almost. I feel like that run is best utilized when you're motioning people to the right side of the field because you create that extra blocker. And then you can just pick up 4 or 5 yards. Not a dominant run. I mean, if you want to run, you've got plenty of inside zones in every formation, it seems. But that is definitely a decent run, especially if somebody's trying to shoot the gap, similar to the inside zone D. It's really difficult to shoot the gap on this type of a run. So, as you see, it's not a terrible run, but that is the way that I run bunch tight end. Hope it helps.